podcast where we align our work with our faith. I am building a community for entrepreneurs that's trying to figure it out. And I do have on the same outfit because it's the same day. But I have one of my favorites. She's one of my favorites on Instagram. She's a star on Instagram.
Lisa.
So please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, your age, and where you're from.
Okay, I am Ebony Thomas. I'm 28. I am from Mississippi, from Gulfport, Mississippi.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like I just said, this podcast is for entrepreneurs that's trying to figure it out. So, I am going to be asking you stuff about entrepreneurship. But when I first started with social media, I started by sharing my journey with God. So we do kind of talk about God a little bit. Now, last night, I was peeping. I was going through all the posts because I was trying to make sure I had some questions. And I did come across some of your Motivation Mondays where I heard you talking about God and, like, you know, being ready with what you pray for and stuff like that. So, what is your relationship with God, or do you have a relationship with God?
I do, and I really got closer in it this year. So I was very intentional about getting closer. Well, I say the end of last year, moving into this year, I was very intentional about building that relationship because I was always, of course, I believed in God, but I was never intentional about it. Since I graduated high school, left my home church. So now I'm so intentional about it, making sure I watch service online, making sure I'm really rooted, because if you are not, you will be lost. You will be lost. And I cannot afford to be lost right now. So yeah, it's very intentional.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of the stuff that I was hearing you say, I'm like, I believe in my heart that all wisdom comes from God, even when people don't know that it came from Him. So some of the stuff you were saying, I was like, that's God. For sure.
Ooh, that gives me chills.
But so did you grow up in a church, or you did?
Yes.
Was it Baptist, or what kind of church was it?
Yeah, it was Baptist.
Baptist church. Yeah. How was your relationship with God, like your family? How did they have a relationship with God? Did they just go to church, or more than that?
So we went to church. Most of my family is in the church. So we would go every Sunday. Even now, my mom still goes to the church. She runs Bible study. My sister is there.
Wow.
Yeah, they are in it. So we were always going. But the interesting thing about me is I'm also a little stubborn. So I was going to church, but I won't say that I felt forced into it. But I was very intentional. I need to do this my way. I need to do it on my own time. So I was going, but I don't know how much I was grasping when I was young. It took me getting older and being intentional. Even before last year, I started being intentional. Even when I got baptized, I was intentional about when I wanted to get baptized. I'm like, I want to do it for me, not because everybody's saying, oh, you should get baptized. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I want to do it when I'm ready and when I'm prepared, even little stuff like that. So we were always in it, but I had to be very intentional about building my own relationship and doing it on my own time and in my own way. So
I'm like that too, so I understand. I understand, because even, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for you. But now that you have decided to be intentional, do you still feel like it was worth the wait now because you've done it on your own? Yeah, I would think so.
I had to have that journey. I had to go through that journey, for sure.
Okay, so tell us what you do, Ebony.
I am a social media strategist. So right now, I offer 3 core services. I do social media management, done-for-you content, where I go in and basically shoot all the content for businesses that really just don't have time for it. 'Cause social media is a job, okay? And a lot of people don't have time for it. And then I also do content coaching. So I have an online community for smaller business owners, because everybody doesn't have a couple $1,000 a month to invest in social media management. And to me, that doesn't mean you don't deserve the help. You know, you need help to get there. So I also have a content community, the Social Society, where I teach content.
You know, it's funny. I met Ebony at a creators event.
Yes.
Was it July?
Yeah.
I think it was in July. And I was telling her then that I was thinking about social media management, and there was this beauty supply that I had reached out to about social media management or whatever. I actually didn't start managing for them, but now I have 2 social media management clients, which is a church and a roofing company. But it's just so funny because I hear people say all the time, God won't expose you to something that's not possible for you.
Yes.
So it's like, I met her for a reason.
Yes. I was so excited.
I was excited too.
And we were chatting. We were talking for a long time.
For people that don't know each other.
Right.
Like,
for people who just
like
met.
We came there together.
We sat down and got comfortable. I'm like...
Yes. Okay, so I did see when I was peeping last night, I saw that you graduated from HBCU, right?
Yes, I graduated from 2.
Okay, tell me about that.
So I got my undergraduate degree from Alcorn State University, which is at HBCU in Mississippi. I got a business degree. And then I went back and got my MBA with a minor in both marketing and sports and entertainment management from Clark Atlanta in Atlanta, Georgia.
I think you did tell me this. Did you tell me this? I think you told me about Clark Atlanta.
I may have.
Because I wanted to go there, and I feel like, I think
yeah.
Okay. But how did you get into social media management, this content creation thing? How did you get into doing this?
So basically, I was in undergrad. Again, getting a business degree. And this was 2018. I graduated in 2018 from undergrad. And I started my own business. I started a lash company, which turned into selling all kind of stuff, girl. It was out of control. It was so out of control. But it started off with lashes, and it was called the Ebony collection. So I was selling mink lash strips on my college campus. And I mean, I was sold out. People were like buying, because my college campus is in its own area. So people have to leave campus and go like further out in order to like buy anything. So I'm like, I'm going to bring this on the campus. And that was a hit. But I did not understand business at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't understand profit margins. I didn't understand. I'm spending money on, girl, poly mailers and shipping. I'm doing everything to make it cute, but it's not profitable. So I closed it down because it didn't make sense. But what I found in that's how I started with social media, because I made a business page. I was working with influencers in like different states. We sponsored a show for New York Fashion Week. A publicist reached out and I had the products there. We're doing all this stuff all through social media. So I didn't understand business, but I understood social media and marketing. So I didn't even after I didn't intentionally pivot, but when I closed the business down, people always say you will know what people want from you by the questions they ask. People will always ask, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Can you help me do this? And I'm like, actually, I can. So from there, that's how it got me here. Literally failing got me here. Failing my first business.
I'm just so shook by what you just said about you'll know what they want from you by the questions they ask.
Yes.
Because that's kind of how it started for me too. Like, people have asked me all this stuff about content creation. I'm like, why y'all asking me?
That was
why
me.
Why are you asking me what kind of camera you could use?
Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
That's me. I'm just a girl. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
It's funny because I literally got that from watching your videos last night.
I say it all the time because I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl.
So you have 2 pages. One is your personal page. One is your business page. How did you end up going viral on Instagram?
Ooh. But every time I've gone viral, it was unintentional. My goal is never to go viral.
Yeah.
But my goal is always to be good at what I do.
Yeah.
So for my business page, at the time when I was creating content that was going super viral, my goal was to educate my audience.
Yeah.
I just need to establish myself as an expert in my industry. I need to give them value. I need to talk about the stuff that people aren't talking about online. And that helps because I'm giving information that people need but haven't gotten yet.
Yeah.
And then my personal page, girl, I'm just living life over there. I'm just living life, but I'm very intentional about what I put online. And I'm also a creative. So people always say, like, how do you do it? But to me, editing is fun. Like playing with the different graphics and stuff and the lighting and the different cameras. That's fun. So for me, on my personal pages, I'm literally having fun.
Yeah. And
when brand deals come from and opportunities come from, I'm like, that's cool. Like, that's fun. I like it. I like the money, but I don't even want to call it a hobby because it's opened so many doors, but that's what it started as. I'm just having fun, living life, and recording it.
Yeah. So I saw, like, when I was looking at your page last night, and I saw, like, basically what you do in the lives and everything. So I tell myself all the time I need to go live, but
yeah, you do.
I be in my head. I be in my head, and then like this past week, I was stressing because I'm like, people are always calling me. Somebody always
Yeah.
want to talk.
Yeah.
And I need to take a break for myself. How do you like give so much to people, like give so much time to people, or like, you know, responding to messages and answering questions and going live? Like, how do you still take care of you and still take care of the people? Because even the school society thing you have, like, you actually have to be active in there talking to people.
Yeah. You know what? That's the question of the year. That is the question of the year. But honestly, this year I've been very intentional on not being burnt out. I was so burnt out in 2023. I was burnt out. I said, I'll close all this down. If I'm going to feel like this, I'm going to be this stressed, I'll close it down.
Yeah.
So this year I've been very intentional. So Motivation Monday, which is where I go live every Monday, I used to do it in 2023 every Monday. And then the beginning of this year, I took a break because same thing, I was burnt out.
Yeah.
I really was about to close everything down. Like, I really was. But I said, I'm going to take a break from going live on Mondays. And I'll bring it back when, one, I can be consistent because I don't want to be off and on. But I'll bring it back when I have it on me. So for little stuff like that, like going live and being in the community, I do what I need to do without overdoing it.
Yeah.
So to other people, it seems like I'm always online. I'm always on live. I'm always posting. Girl, I will schedule that stuff and move on with my life.
Yeah.
I don't have time to sit on, I truly don't have time to sit on Instagram all day. I dedicate my Mondays mornings to going live. And even with that, because live to me is such like I know it sounds crazy because it's like a public live, but to me it's a safe space. My Motivation Monday is. I talk about literally whatever's on my heart.
Yeah.
Whatever I think people need to hear, whatever I'm going through, and something I wish somebody would have told me.
Yeah.
That's what I talk about. So it's not like I'm saying, okay, what am I going to talk about on Mondays? I need to write it down. I need to map it out. Sometimes people overplan. For me, when I lay down on Sunday, or sometimes when I wake up on Monday, I'm like, I wonder what did I go through this week?
Yeah.
Or what did somebody ask me about this week? And that's what I talk about.
I'm not gonna lie, I could tell.
Yeah.
From watching those videos, because how we were just talking about things coming out so easily. They come out as easy when you actually going through those things, or you got the revelation about those things, versus you trying to come up with something on paper. It comes out much easier.
Yes.
So I could definitely tell that was something like your Motivation Mondays are natural.
Yeah, because I'm really speaking from heart and mind.
Yeah.
I told you I don't do good with scripts anyway. Yeah. I can't talk off a script. I have to be able to talk freely.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, what do I need? What do people need to hear? What do I want to say? What will help somebody this week? And then from there, I get questions in the comments and that kind of stuff. But to me, I don't know if it's because I've been public speaking. I used to public speak, girl, by force when I was younger.
Oh.
So now I'm like, cool, let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Yeah. What do you mean by being forced to public speak?
So my mama, shout out to my mom, because she did write, but I was in a lot of like clubs and organizations in high school.
Okay.
Where I was in it, that was one thing, but then it was also, we're gonna have Ebony be the moderator for the program, and we're gonna have Ebony do this, and she gonna win. And because of that, I had to talk.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out. And then in college, when I was in undergrad, I was on SGA, Student Government Association. So I had to talk. Yeah. I had to be on these like kind of platforms and talk to the university. So now I'm like, we can talk all day.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm having this problem where I'm literally, when I sleep, I'm dreaming about what to post on these people. On my clients, like Instagram, like my mind, I feel like it never shuts off.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like your mind never shuts off because of what, like, social media?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel every day.
So how do you deal with that? Like, how do you shut your, okay, maybe you don't shut your brain off.
Yeah. But like detach almost.
Yeah. How do you do that when you deal with so many clients and stuff? Like,
yeah. So for me, it goes back to me. I know a lot of people now, they have one brand page. They do their business. They also do the lifestyle content. It helps build community and connection. Yeah. But because I already had 2 pages, again, I'll schedule content on my business page and won't I'll schedule the content. You can schedule stories now on Facebook Business Manager.
Oh, wow.
You can use automations to still collect leads while you're on there. I'll schedule it, and then I will literally detach.
Yeah.
And I don't do it for like days at a time because to me that's kind of crazy. And again, I can't shut my brain off.
Yeah.
But I'll take a Saturday. I usually don't log into my business page on Saturdays. I just let it run. I schedule the content and then I move on. And because my personal page is truly a personal page, even though I'm creating content, there's an audience there. It's truly my personal page. I follow my friends. I follow, all the fun stuff. So it's not as stressful for me. I just log off.
Yeah, see, that's a good thing because I kind of been trying to connect. I'm not going to say I've been trying to connect. Because I do have another page that I don't really post on that's supposed to be for business because I'm just now starting to figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's like at one point I was following influencers. Now that I'm like getting into social media management, I'm like, that's what I need to be seeing because now I'm looking at influencers and this is not helping me.
Yeah.
Like, so my brain is just even more all over the
place. It's always on.
And I usually take the whole app off of my phone. But now I can't do that because I'm managing other people's social media.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not looking at all the right stuff, but I also just feel like I'm dreaming about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
it's literally, as soon as I'm super intentional about who I follow too.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I log on to Instagram, I need to know what I'm going to see. I need to already kind of have a feel because it will really stress you out and overwhelm you. And you think, oh, I'm going to take a break. Let me post this cute post on my story. And you get on there. The first feed post is something, anything, a new strategy, a new update, a new anything. Yeah. And now you can't even get that out of your head. So I'm very intentional. But it's hard to turn your brain off.
You know what? But I've been noticing, too, that Instagram been showing me stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, they've been showing me suggested posts that have nothing to do with stuff that I
call Instagram the ghetto. I don't know if you heard me say that in any of the live replays, but I always call Instagram the ghetto. But it's honestly just their business. Some of the stuff I get, because I try to think of it from like a corporate standpoint, like on how they would make it make sense. But girl, they do what they want over there. They do what they want on Instagram.
Okay, so as far as everything you do, the social media management, well, I know that you said that creating content was like part of your lash business at first, right? And then you said you do like the phone calls with people or whatever. How did you pretty much learn like what it was that you needed to do in order to become a social media manager? Like, did you just YouTube, or how did you figure out how you wanted to do this business?
It was a journey. So going back to kind of how I started, when I closed down the lash business, people would always ask me these questions. They would ask me, how was I working with people on Instagram? How to get more followers on Instagram? Because again, this is 2018. People now in 2024, everybody's teaching something on Instagram. It's overwhelming. Yeah. In 2018, people weren't really doing that. Yeah. So people were asking me all these questions, and at the time, another thing they would ask me about is vendors list, because I was selling lashes and lips, gloss, all kind of stuff. Yeah. So I started off selling vendors lists when I first pivoted from the business, and I was selling lash vendors, hair business, cosmetic, all these different things. And throughout that process, that kind of taught me like digital sales, because now I'm like, I can't just show you my product. Now I have to teach the benefit. I have to tell you why you actually need the list, right? So from that kind of taught me digital sales. And then when I pivoted from that, because that time was over, I kept going, because before I stopped selling vendors lists, I had already started coaching and doing coaching calls. So another thing I was very intentional about doing is, and I'm still intentional about doing, I don't teach anything that I don't know. Yeah. So sometimes people ask me, how can I run a Facebook ad? I said, oh, relax. I don't know nothing about, don't relax. I'm just a girl. Like, I'm just a girl. Relax. Ask me social media, please. Don't ask me. But when I started, I was the same way. So I would only help people with what I help people with. And then because I was also running a business, in doing this, I was able to kind of learn and develop. And then at the time, I would teach what I learned. Yeah. So I've always been super authentic online. So it was, sis, I tried this and it does not work. Let me tell you what you need to be doing if you need to get your content to actually work, because that's not it. And they like, okay, cool. I'm only doing stuff that I'm learning. And because, again, that was 2018. Now we're in 2024. Over time, I was able to develop all this stuff. I was able to meet people and talk to people. Girl, I'm always stalking social media today for the latest updates, like what's going on online. I went back, at the time, I thought going back to school and getting my MBA with the marketing concentration would help, which it helps with marketing itself, not necessarily social media. Yeah. But some of that core marketing that people miss, and people don't talk about knowing your know, like, and trust value, or the 7 P's of, like, product, place, promote. Like, people don't talk about the true business. Yeah. So another thing I always say online is make sure you have a business and not a business page. Yeah. Because a lot of people miss that core marketing. So just through, like, going back to school, getting, like, real life experience, like talking to people, trial and error, kind of put me in position to be able to do it.
Yeah. I feel you with what you said about having a business and not just a business page, because actually the person who was here right before you, mm-hmm. he was talking about credit, but he was saying that most of the people, or not most of the people, but some of the people that's online, they're like teaching, but they're only teaching enough for you to come pay them or to, buy something from them. Yeah. They're not really teaching you for real. Yeah. So much misinformation out there just because everybody's trying to come get a sale.
Everybody's trying to get a sale because somebody said digital products was the key to financial freedom. Yeah. And it's just gone too far. And a lot of people miss, like, that traditional marketing. It really is a business. Yeah. So another thing I would always do is webinars. And now I only do them really in my community. Well, I'm about to do another one, but I usually do them only in my community. But I get into the details. Anybody in my community, anybody who's done a webinar, I'm on there with statistics. I'm on there with sources. I'm like, look, this is actually how it works. Because, for one, I don't like to charge people for information they could have found on Instagram, mm-hmm. for one. And for two, I want you to know I know what I'm talking about. So I'm big on my brand name. Don't leave my webinar and be like, she told me all the stuff that she had. Let's really dig into it if we're going to do it. So
that's good, because, I mean, you can kind of tell when some people are not doing things from... You can just tell when they don't do it because they really want to do it. Yeah. Like, you can tell when their heart is not in it. So the fact that you give the way that you give, like, it's like you can tell. Just like I said, like with the lives. Yeah. Like, I know that those lives are coming from your heart. So I love see how live. You have a community.
I love that.
Even how you said, you like, girl, I tried this and it didn't work. Like, yeah. It's like, okay, friend, what you said. Yeah. You tried, like, let me tell you. It's like a sister to me, It's funny how you can, when people tell you about you, like, it's like, okay, I don't even be thinking about myself
girl,
like that.
Because I'm just on live talking, rolling out the bed. But when I stopped it, people would be messaging me like, you not doing Motivation Monday? I'm like, friend, I'm not. Friend, no.
Not today.
No.
I'm tired. I wrote down this question. Are you dating right now?
Girl.
Girly in Houston, Texas.
You know what? I will say I'm dating. I'm not dating anybody, but I'm open to dating. I'll say that. Okay. I'm not dating anybody specific. I'm not, like, locked in, but I am open to dating.
So have you been dating, like, I mean, I guess you've been doing this for a while, what you do. How do you feel like dating is, being a business girly who just, like, I mean, I guess you said sometimes you do take a little break from your business page. Yeah. But, like, just always making sure you're on top of things. Do you feel like dating is a little difficult for you being a woman about her business? Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah. Yeah. I really had to realize, for one, you have to make time for what you want. Yeah. And I'm busy. We were just talking about it. Busy. It's always something. It's always an event. It's always a client. It's always an opportunity. It's always a conference. It's always content to edit and post and schedule. It's always something. So I remember I was dating a guy
Loosely a little bit. I was dating a guy, and he kept trying to like hang out. Like, we should go to dinner, we should do this. I'm like, oh, I have this, and I have. And obviously that didn't work. But after that, I was like, girl, okay, if you're gonna date, you need to figure it out. So now I try to be super intentional about making time, and that just wasn't with dating. Now I'm intentional about making time for my friends, making time for my family, making time to date, making time to disconnect. Because he got me right on together. He said, I mean, if you don't have the time, I said, oh. Oh. Okay. So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to make the time. And then it's hard to also, I try to be very, I don't want to be the man of a relationship. Yeah. I'm not the leader of the household. I'm not, Yeah. So when you are actually, like, you're doing business, you have a business where you are running everything and doing everything, it's hard to get out of that mindset. So now I'm also very intentional about, okay, if you're going to date, are you going to let somebody lead, though? Are you going to relax a little bit and let somebody else do it, because you're used to doing everything for yourself and your business? So how do you kind of, so that's been me this year. I'm like, I need to sit down and relax.
I 100% feel that, okay?
Yeah.
Because, like, I had my experience with God, and I started to desire marriage when I'm not going to say I never wanted to get married, but I didn't desire it as much as I do now. And now that I do all that I do, I'm like, what if the man be looking at me like, she don't need no man? Like, she be...
Girl, but when I tell you I am not I don't need no man kind of girl.
Me either.
I'm not.
Speak for yourself.
I'm not. Relax.
Speak for yourself.
I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl.
I'm definitely not her. But sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, okay, I just feel like I'm building all of this without the man. But and I'm not going to say I always said that I would never be a just stay-at-home mom and do nothing else. I don't care if I got to online business.
Do something.
I'm still going to be doing something.
Yeah.
But I feel like, as far as like, because I have a son, like taking care of my son and stuff, it's like I'm doing everything on my own. But do I want to do everything on my own? Girl. Absolutely not. So I just wonder how. Yeah. I wonder how God gonna bring that all together. I just don't know.
Girl, God is working on me. He is working on me, because I did have to be so intentional about, like, because at some point, even if I wasn't saying I don't need a man, I was acting like I did it. Yeah. Now I'm very intentional. I'm like, you got it. Yeah. If you want to lead, you can lead. I'm a sit back.
You talk about chills. I got chills.
I'm just a girl. Like, I'm not, because I was also, even though I wasn't saying I didn't need a man, the way I was acting kind of gave that off. And then I started to attract the kind of man who would want that kind of girl. Yeah. And then I'm like, I'm not leading the household. Yeah. I don't believe that. I had to learn how much I value more traditional relationships. Yeah. And when I was dating men who were looking for a strong, independent woman, and they were like, "Oh, you," I'm like, No. I'm not gonna be the breadwinner and the homemaker at the house. Yeah. While you sit and be the house husband.
Yeah. Somebody just asked me how I felt about house husbands the other day, and I was like, I ain't gonna really do it.
I don't think God intended that for me.
Yeah, no. It's too much out here that you can do. A business that you can start, or something that you can do. I don't want to come home and my husband sitting on the couch. I just don't. No, thank you.
I can't even imagine. Like, how was work? I'm like, what you do today?
Yeah, no, thank you. But I just imagine, like, I definitely imagine. I don't know. I guess because I watch a lot of relationship podcasts.
Ooh, okay.
And it's just funny how people have different perspectives. Sometimes there are men who like, I don't like my wife doing all that. I don't like my wife being like the businesswoman. But what we're supposed to do till the man come? I'm 26 years old. Like,
I gotta figure it out.
Exactly.
I can't just keep sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
Because then I don't like the woman who doesn't have anything going on.
Exactly. Like, it's like
Yeah.
Which woman am I supposed to be?
Yeah. I can't please everybody.
Yeah.
I can't please everybody.
Yeah, I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, and that's okay. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. So I do see you at like different events and stuff. Like we was just talking about, like you were at Grind Pretty Fest. You go to different events and stuff, and I know that networking is important.
Yes.
And I enjoy networking. I do enjoy talking to people, but I do kind of feel like sometimes it's bittersweet.
Ooh, okay.
Because just recently, like this past week, it's just like everybody was calling my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I need a break from people.
Yeah.
And then even just with like online, like I feel like I always have to show up for other people.
Yeah.
But so how often do you network? Like, do you ever say, okay, do you ever turn down going to any events?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Cause I told you I'm not gonna burn myself out.
Yeah.
I'm not I gotta get it out the mud. I'm gonna go through the struggle. If I don't have to struggle, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, I want to be, because what will happen is I'll get to the event and I'm already tired. I didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And that'll come off in my energy too.
Yeah.
Cause when I'm tired, you can see it all over my face.
Yes.
So I have definitely turned down events for sure. Just off being tired, not having the energy, not having the, like, it's fine. I like networking. I like going to events, but I need to be able to do it in a way that's beneficial.
Yeah.
Because I also have a little anxiety. So if I get there and I'm tired and now I don't want to talk to anybody, now I'm just in a corner, because I'll do that. What was the point? Like, you got up, got yourself out the house just to sit in the corner, and yeah, so I turn down stuff all the time.
Yeah. I need to be better with that. But I'm not gonna lie, like, because I just recently got back to Houston. So once I got here to Collab Social and they started inviting me to events, I come to these events because I know it's people here. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to events and I don't know who's gonna be there. But there are people who ask me to go places and I'm like, I really don't feel like it. I guess sometimes I feel obligated to go to places with people, but I really have to get better with saying no.
Yeah, I'm big on, I'm not gonna make it friend. I'm not gonna make it friend. I apologize. I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit, but the algorithm. I mean, I know we talked about this a little bit, but for the people who might be stressing about Instagram and the algorithm and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, does the algorithm ever get to you? Like, the fact that videos may not be reaching first of all, not reaching the full freaking follower count.
Yeah.
Does that ever get on your nerves? How do you deal with it?
Yes and no. I get just as frustrated when my reach is down. My content isn't reaching who I needed to reach. My followers aren't seeing it, but also, and maybe this is because I've been on Instagram for so long, I also understand the algorithm enough to, as I'm frustrated, I'm also taking it personal, because to me that's telling me my content isn't good enough. Yeah. So the way the algorithm kind of works is it shows, once you post a piece of content, it shows that content to a small group of people. If those people engage with that content, then it keeps pushing it out because they want to keep people on the platform. So if I post something and it's not performing, to me it wasn't good enough. Yeah. Because good content will perform to me. Yeah. And I've posted stuff where I'm like, this good, this gonna hit, and then it shows to nobody. And sometimes it is, I won't say it to say if it's not performing, it's not good content. Sometimes it is the algorithm. But I also take it personally. Like, I need to make better content. I need to make content that people are going to want to engage with. Now I'm looking at shareable content. Now I'm looking into something that's relatable. Now I'm looking into something that's giving value to my audience to make them. Now I'm looking at my call to actions. Like, what more did I need to say? What more did I need to do? Because the algorithm, they can hate on me all they want. Yeah. I'm still going to be posting. So they can just go ahead and get on board, and I'll just keep improving my content. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I look at Instagram and I'm like, I feel like they purposely don't push out stuff that they know people make money from.
That wouldn't surprise me.
The stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Like,
they push out, never mind. I was going to say they push out foolishness, but it's not all foolishness. I won't say that.
Okay, yeah. not all foolishness.
It's not all foolishness, but
I know that I saw this one video where it was like a lady was like playing around with the way she was cooking stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like a whole bunch of butter, a whole bunch of salt, like,
yeah,
just a whole bunch of crazy stuff on the stove. But she's doing it to go viral. Every video goes viral.
But it's also rage baiting because people see that. So another thing I always say is people are nosy. People see that. And, some people on Instagram, they have to give their opinion. People like to give their opinion online. So people see that. And because they want to tell her it's too much, because they want to tell her they don't like it, that's why I say a lot of times it is the content. Yeah. Even if it's not good content, if it is engaging content, if you can get somebody to want to say something, to want to talk about it, that's how you beat the algorithm. Give people something to talk about. Yeah. I'm not a fan of rage baiting content, though, from a business perspective. Mm-hmm. But people always want to give their opinions, so that's why you'll always see me on Instagram. You'll always see me on Instagram. What do you think? Let me know what you like in the comments, because people love to give their opinion. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, cool, give it over here so we can get this algorithm up.
Yeah, I think you saw the video of me putting the nair on my eyebrows, and you said that you do that. Mm-hmm. Did you see the one where I was putting the texturizer on my eyebrows?
No.
So I use texturizer on my hair. Yeah. And on my eyebrows.
Ooh, how did you like that? I gotta go watch the video.
Yes, you gotta go.
I gotta go watch the video.
I've been doing it for like 2 years now. Yeah. But I started off doing eyebrow lamination, but it's like a perm for your eyebrows. Yeah. But I was doing eyebrows at the time. I stopped doing eyebrows, but I was already putting texturizers on my hair because I'm not finna be going through all that pain for my hair to still be thin. People said, "Oh, your hair is not thin," because they looking at my new growth in the video, but you can't tell me how many strands of hair is on my head. Just because
first of all, it's my head.
Exactly. Just because the texture changes does not mean that the thickness of my hair changes. Yeah. It's still the same amount of strands. But I knew when I posted that video that it was gonna go viral because it's like controversy. Like some people like, why you putting a texturizer on your head? They give cancer. And then you got some people like, oh, I'm gonna try this. And then you got other people like, oh, I've been doing this since I was whatever. But I knew that video was gonna go viral. But
you give people a reason.
Everything to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't really I've gotten to the point now where I don't look at the comments if they're negative. I just don't go up under the post at all. Yeah. Especially because I'm not about to argue with you. This is my head. Why are you trying to tell me what I should?
You talking about this my head? I be saying this my page.
No, for real.
You not going. I'm really big on. I wish I could say I don't read the comments, but girl, I be all. I be all in a. I will say I've never gotten a. Tell a lie. Yes, I have. But yeah, even when they're bad, but if it is a ton of bad comments, I had one video where it was a ton, not even bad comments. People just love to get their opinion. I'm like, this is my page. My page is my world, especially because this is my personal page, my personal TikTok account at the time. But I'm real big on block and delete. You're not gonna come and get your laughs in my comment section. Yeah. You can say whatever you want to say. You can type whatever you want on your phone, but I will delete the comment if it's counterproductive. And I say that because if it's my business page and somebody is saying, oh, this isn't helpful, that's different. Yeah. Or if somebody's saying, I emailed you and I haven't gotten a response yet, that's different. That's not the kind of stuff I delete. It's the personal content. I'll give you an example. When I started creating content, I originally started on TikTok, and I used to do things that make me feel like a black girl in luxury. Mm-hmm. And I was showing like home decor and all these different things. And when the video went viral, it's cool when it's in your community. When the video started going viral, you will get the craziest comments. Somebody commented once and was like, if this is what's considered luxury, we as a black people are lost. Delete. This is my page. Girl, talk about that on your page because that's your world. This is my world. Like, we're not going to do that. Or this isn't luxury. This is my delete. This is my world. You're not gonna laugh and joke in my world. Yeah. Especially on my personal pages. This is literally my bubble. I'm just a girl. You're not going to stress me out. You're not going to stress me out. I'm just a girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that I finally got to the point where if I see something negative, I'm not going to delete it anymore because you're helping me get paid off of something. Yeah. But, and then I noticed how some people, like, whoever your followers are, sometimes they don't even be following you. They go back and eat up the people who already.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what?
That's
I don't
real
even gotta do
community.
nothing.
That's
Yes.
real community.
I don't even gotta do nothing. But when the comments get so bad, like that, they just kept on with the negativity, with the eyebrows
That doesn't
and stuff.
surprise me.
I'm like, I'm not even going to go look at them comments.
Yeah.
If I see that the picture says this just for me, whatever, I don't even look at them. I can't look at them because it's like some twist and turn in my stomach, and I just
and I think that's why I delete them, because it will really stress you out for real.
Yes.
Because if I don't delete it, the next time it comes to my head, then I'm gonna go back and now I have to reply. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and delete it.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and delete it before I make it worse. Let me just delete the comment.
Yeah. Do you take photos for the people that you make content for?
Like the done for you content?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting into now.
Is it with the camera?
Mm-hmm.
How important is it for you to get a good camera as a, I guess this is more social media manager right now, but if you want to work in the social media, if you want to work in the social media field, how important is it for you to get a good camera?
That's such a good question. I think specifically if you want to work like as a social media manager or as like a content creator for brands, to me, I'll say why it was important to me, because I wouldn't want to say, hey, I can do done for you content, and then I don't have the tools to make it quote unquote the best content or the high quality content. And a lot of the people I work with, even if they have the money, they don't have the time. It's not worth the investment of a camera when I can just come in and do it. So for me, it's important to get that quality, and to give myself a way to stand out for my clients and for my customers, to make sure that they're getting the highest quality content. Because, and this might be a little controversial, but to me, if I show up as a social media manager and I only have my phone, which I was doing, creating content for people on my phone, and some of my clients prefer me to do it on their phone, which I get. But I also don't want to be easily replaceable. Yeah. So I don't want to show up. For example, I was working with someone once, and we were doing the content on their phone. They wanted it on their phone. And I'm like, cool. And then when they needed more content, they just got somebody else to record it. Because to them, we know social media. We know strategy. We know how to get the angles. We know how to put the most attention-grabbing clip at the front so you keep people's attention. We know all these things. But to them, all they see is me recording on their phone. And in my head, they didn't say this, but in my head, they think I could have did that. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, I need to get something that separates me, or something that makes me an asset to different business owners, not just my expertise, but something that they can physically see and understand. And the quality is better to me. So yeah, someone actually sent me a screenshot of someone's story, and they said we're looking for some people to come in this barbershop from 12 to 2 every Saturday to create content for us. So I reached out to the man, and he said, what did he say? He said, how much would you charge to basically, he said, we'll find 2 reels on TikTok, basically recreate them. How much would you charge for that? I said $65 per reel. This is to record and to edit. So 1 reel, record it and edit it. I have cameras. I have equipment. Yeah. I don't know if he knew that, and I don't know if maybe he just haven't been on Instagram yet, but I'm like, $65 is actually not a lot for a reel. And recorded and edited, yeah. And edited. High quality, recorded and edited.
I heard someone say that, I'm sorry, I didn't hear them say it. I saw it on Threads. That was like, when you are pricing yourself, remember that you paying for like Photoshop every month. You paying for CapCut every month. Yeah. You got to get equipment. Like, I just got a new computer, the camera, all this stuff. Like, you still have to factor all that in when you're pricing something. But I was just asking about the camera. Do you have any cameras that you recommend?
Ooh, yeah. So all of the cameras that I use are for specific purposes. So right now I have a Canon.
That's the first time I heard that.
Really? So I have a Canon R8. Canon EOS R8 that I use, and I'll do video content on, especially because it's like a bigger camera. But to me, I bought that camera specifically because it has the internal flash and it takes amazing pictures. So I bought it specifically. Now again, I'll record. I was vlogging on it on the way here. I'll record video on it because it's a good camera, but I bought it intentionally for pictures. Right now, that's my favorite camera. But then I also like the DJI, the little mini camera.
Yeah.
I love that. But I'd use all that for my personal content when I go, because, I also go out to, like, local businesses as a creator, and I create content for them to post on my personal page to my audience.
Yeah.
I love my DJI for that. It's small. I can take it to restaurants and all these different spas and all these different places that I'm going to without it being in the way. Sometimes they can be in the way.
Yeah.
that can be in the way sometimes, and it's easier to do it on there and still get good quality.
Yeah, I definitely need to get one of those. I want to get one of
I
those.
love it.
I want to vlog, but I feel like vlogging just takes so much out of me when it comes to editing.
Girl. It's really the editing.
Yeah.
It's really the editing. I can edit reels and short form content all day. YouTube takes me down through there.
Yeah.
Remember I told you I don't teach? When people ask me, because again, social media strategy, people ask me about everything. They're like, what do I need to grow on YouTube? I'm like, friend,
I can tell you one thing that I know.
I don't know what.
That you could probably tell them.
I'm going to send them right to you. I'm glad you said that. I know where to send them. I'm going to say, I know somebody who can tell you.
I mean, but, okay, so I'm going to just tell you what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I first started with social media, I wasn't trying to go viral, but I did go viral. But I was posting, I had a friend who does YouTube, and she was like, you need to post on YouTube, but I wasn't doing long form videos. So everything that I posted on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, I was posting it on YouTube.
Shorts?
Yes.
Okay, I just got into that.
My subscribers started growing really fast with the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I might post a video and it may not do well, but then I'll post a short and it's like, I realized that I can post a long form video, then post a short of that video, and that'll bring the people to the video. But growing as far as subscribers, shorts for sure. But because I started with shorts, I now don't have the watch time that I need because I was posting all shorts.
That's my thing.
So if they're gonna grow, post shorts and long form videos. So when the people see you on the shorts, they can go have something to watch, not just the shorts.
So I know a creator who told me the exact same thing. She's killing it on YouTube right now. Her name is Nas. Shout out to Nas. And she told me the same thing. So one thing that I started doing was taking all my at the beginning of the month, I'll take all the short form content from the previous month. So like right now, for example, I'll take all the short form content I had on Instagram and TikTok from October and schedule that from the month. So the shorts are just continually going up.
Yeah.
But still, it's always that watch time. But you know what I also started doing? What? I started taking the long form content videos that I post and adding them on, I think it's pronounced Opus. It's like an AI, and it'll split up the video into different shorts and then uploading those and then linking it back to the full video. Mm-hmm. So I just started that. We'll see how that works. I'll report back on that. But we'll see. But because it is the watch time.
Yeah.
I have to get my watch time up.
Same.
That stresses me out. YouTube stresses me out. That's why I don't teach it. YouTube stresses me out.
I literally have almost 8,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Crazy.
And still not getting paid.
YouTube, my thing with YouTube, I'm also not very patient. And YouTube is a long game.
Yeah.
Because videos, the lead time is longer on YouTube. And I'm like, if I post on Instagram, I know what it's going to do in the first couple hours. YouTube, I think it's like a couple month lead time for like videos to. I'm like, I'm not gonna say I don't have time for that, but come on now, we gotta speed it up or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why people make so much money. It stays in the algorithm for so long, but still, girl.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so as far as social media management and content creation, what do you include with social media management? Do you allow your clients to call you whenever they want?
No. That was an easy answer. Absolutely
not. I still want to know how you do your packages because it's going to help me and whoever else wants to do social media management. But how often do you allow your clients to call you for social media management?
So, I like to be able to disconnect. So what I do is I set up check-ins where we can get on a call. Now, if something happens in between that, reach out. But I also set it up like reach out. but I'll respond between these times. Same way a business do, business hours. I'll respond between these times. I hate to say a lot of stuff is not life or death, but to me, there's nothing, unless we just accidentally posted something insane that wasn't meant to be posted, there's nothing to me worth calling me at 10 p.m. for. It's not life or death. Nobody's dying. We're not birthing babies.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes some people have to get it out their head while they're thinking about it, which is cool. That's why I say reach out, send an email.
Just know I'm not gonna respond
to business hours if it's not urgent. Now, I do have bad where if something comes through, I do feel the urge to check it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's not life or death. Yeah. But I don't know how emergent it is until I read the email. So sometimes I'll check and see, what's going on. But I try to set really clear boundaries because people will call you at 11 o'clock. You know what I think we should post? I'm like, listen. Tell me tomorrow. Yeah. Tell me tomorrow because I'm in the bed, sleep. I'm thinking something is happening. So I try to set up clear business hours. But that stuff I talk through with people before they book. Yeah. So I really of course, most social media managers do discovery calls, but I'm very intentional on setting boundaries for both. Yeah. I also want my clients to set their boundaries with me. Like, what is it that almost like, what is your kind of do's and don'ts? What can let's really see if this relationship would actually work. Does it actually make sense for both of us? Yeah. Because, again, I may not align with everybody. And that's okay. But let's not stress each other out in the process because we didn't do our due diligence. These are kind of my boundaries, my standards. This is kind of how I run the business. This is what we do. These are when we do our check-in. This is the content, approvals, all these different things. Now, what is it that you're looking for in a social media manager? Right. And when they tell me that, I could clear as they say, perfect. I think this would be a good fit. Or, unfortunately, I do not think we will be good to work with each other for these reasons. Yes. Yeah.
Amen. Okay, that was very good.
Boundaries.
Yes, boundaries. And it's so funny because I feel like God gave me that word just recently. Okay, so packages for your social media management. What do you include in your packages? I mean, is it just based on what the person needs? Like, do you have a package where it's just, okay, I'm doing social media management for Instagram and Facebook, or do you do all platforms?
Yeah, and sorry, girl, my allergies have been so crazy. But a lot of it is based on what people need. So what I do is I have a set price. I have a base rate, and then we kind of can go from there. I'm very intentional. I only do social media management for Instagram and TikTok. I'm not active and I don't know enough about Facebook for me to charge somebody to do that. Because again, I'm good on I'm gonna do what I can do, but I can't do it all. And I'm not a jack of all trades kind of girl. Let me really sit down in my areas of expertise, and for me that's Instagram and TikTok. So I only offer social media management for those platforms. I also get very specific in how do we need this content created. Are you a person who you are creating the content and you want me to edit it, schedule it, do all the things? Do you need the content created? We need to kind of set that up in advance because what happens is you have a client who they're like, I have the content, I just need the actual platform ran. And then you see the content and then it doesn't match what we need to do. So I try to get through some of those things early. So I do have packages specifically for people who already have the content and they kind of just need to edit it. They can need to schedule. They need the community management. They need the engagement. They need the algorithm, the DMs, all these different things. And then it looks completely different when people are like, I need social media strategy and content creation. So I need you to come in and create the content and let's sit down and really map out a strategy. And I do that because I've ran into people who needed both. Yeah. So I've run into people who are like, I have all this content. I'm always recording, but I never have time to edit. I never have time to schedule. I don't know the trends. I don't really know what to do with it. I've just been recording because people told me to record and I can take that content and basically make something out of nothing. But I have some people, they're like, we need to do a content day. That's when it's like, okay, let's get on our call, map out a strategy. What do we need to create over the next 30 days? Let's get a content day together, take a couple hours, shoot 30 days worth of content in this 2 to 3 hours, get all the clips. We have all our scripts, and we're doing it like that. And then we go from the social media management. So
the prices for if you're doing strategy strategy and content. That's different than just social media.
And I do strategy for both clients, but if we're setting up like a full content day and I'm creating the content, it is different. Yeah.
Okay, content creation packages. How do you do your content creation packages? You said that it's done for you content, sometimes with the phone, sometimes with the camera, right?
Yeah, depending on depending on their preference. But I do that very similar to how I would do a content day for a social media management client. So, for example, what I prefer to do is somebody say, this is the content I need, because I also am very intentional. I kind of work more so with businesses. I don't necessarily like to work with influencers. Not for no other reason than, to me, I just operate better in that space. So for business owners, you already kind of know what you need for the next 30 days. You know your plan. You know what product you're launching. You know what's coming up. So I do it the same way. Let's get together, figure out what we need to create. We can map out some ideas. We can go through all these things, and we can set up an actual content day. And again, 2, 3, 4 hours. Let's get together and get all the content and get through it all. But before then, I also like to have, again, all the content laid out, what they need. What kind of is it a feed post? Is it a reel? Is this something that needs to go on the story? What needs to be created? Do we need a script for it? Because some people have to have a script in order to be able to show up on camera, right? So I like to have all of that before we get there. And once we get to the content day, we knocking it out. Boom. Okay, this first look, we doing this, we doing this, we doing this, we doing this. Let's move the tripod. Let's take the camera. Let's do this. Because I'm also big on efficiency. Let's not be playing around. Let's not be playing around. So I like to have all that laid out. And then, again, we'll go in and shoot the content.
I really feel that. The way you said, like, let's plan this stuff out. That's how I am. But I do kind of feel like one of my clients, I was kind of thrown into it. And I don't like that. I'm a really organized person. And I'm like, I gotta figure out what I'm editing, what I'm posting this day. You know what I'm saying? So I can schedule out what I'm doing. But when I feel like you're just throwing stuff at me, it's
overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
It makes me anxious.
Yeah. And I have some clients. I do have some people that I've worked with in the past where they're like, okay, I want to make a reel about this. Can you? And I'll do, some one-offs, but I really do prefer to sit down. Let's sit down, spend a couple hours, do a month worth of content, get it all. That way you have it all instead of us every other week. Like, oh, I really want to post this reel. Let's get together and do this. I'm like, cool. We can do it, but it just depends. It depends on the client and what they're doing, honestly. Yeah. I can be flexible to an extent.
So what type of problems do you face as a social media manager?
People don't know what they want. People do not know what they want. And I know I said that fast and loud because I feel that in my spirit, because I think and I say that meaning sometimes people have an idea of how they want their content to look, but they don't. You know how you think about something, you're like, oh, I would like this, but then when it's time to do it, you're like, I actually don't even really like this idea. I think a lot of times people don't necessarily know what they're looking for in their content. I find that in social media management clients a lot. They don't necessarily know. They just know they want good content. And I'm like, okay, how do you know what's our goal? And again, I can create the strategy, but I need to make sure it's mutually beneficial. I need to make sure it's what you're actually looking for, because I don't like to waste my time or people's money. So let's make sure we have it all together. I think another thing that people struggle with is finding the line between, there's a big thing where social media feels like, oh, I can just do this myself. So you almost have to make people understand why they actually need a social media manager. Because, again, people get looped into that stage of, oh, it's just posting. It's just posting. I can just post and I can go on Canva. And it's more than that. If you are a business, it's marketing. I always call Instagram, social media is an online resume. When customers are determining whether or not, I told you I get into statistics, 79% of customers will research a brand online before they decide to purchase. And people are saying, I can just post. No, you need a marketing strategy. You need to be taking your customers through these journeys. You need to be understanding what it is you're posting, what you're putting out, what to not put out, when to post. I've told all my clients, election day, you can post, but people aren't going to be paying attention to that. That's not today to launch. Like little stuff like that people don't think of, because to them it's just posting. It's more than just posting. So a big problem that I also face is sometimes people don't understand what goes into social media. And what happens when people don't understand that, when you do the work, they don't understand that strategy takes time.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight success. I want you to make me go viral. I don't think we're a good fit to work together.
Yeah.
Because let's create a strategy. The goal is not to, we have to make it make sense. We have to align it. And strategy takes time. It's a true marketing strategy. So
is that usually how you just deal with those problems? Like, you know what? I'm not the social media manager.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll try to like talk people through it. Like the people's like, I want to go viral. I'll kind of, let's talk about it. Let me tell you. Because people, you go viral and you don't have your back end set up, or you don't have the capacity to collect these leads on time and do all these things. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I'll break that down with clients. But again, I'm not for everybody, and everybody's not for me. And I've been in situations where I'm like, I'm gonna keep working with them because I need the money. Everything is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And that goes both ways. I'm not for everybody. Everybody's not going to be the client for me, and that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so your Motivation Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you sometimes it's like something that's on your heart or something that you're going through. I definitely feel like I have stuff that I'll be going through. Like me right now, I know God gave me boundaries, and I also know that basically like self-care, like take care of yourself, because you can't love on other people if you're not loving on you. Ooh. So what problem do you feel like you're facing right now as an entrepreneur?
I'll tell you exactly what problem I'm facing. Because I'm working on. That's why I know exactly what problem I'm facing. So right now, the problem I'm facing is that, so when I transitioned into this business, I initially had a online brand. Mm-hmm. So I already had an online brand, but this year I was intentional about expanding to creating an agency.
Yeah.
So I'm almost, even though I already have the audience and I have the clients, internally on the back end, I'm almost in the startup phases of building this agency. Because this was the first year that I started taking social media management clients. And it's been, well, that's not true. But this is the first year I was intentional about that being one of my core offers. Because I was focused more so on community-based coaching, webinars, and all these different things. Yeah. So the problem that I'm facing right now is targeting the people who... how can I say this? The problem I'm facing is because I have the social society. It's a community for newer business owners, people that don't necessarily have the money to invest. But then my social media management packages are for more established business owners. So I kind of target both because I didn't want to leave my core audience behind. Yeah. The people who have been there, the people who still need the help. Mm-hmm. So my problem is targeting both. Now I'm targeting both. Yeah. And if you know anything about social media, on social media, you need to be, if you're not talking to somebody specific, then you're talking into thin air. So my problem that I've been navigating this year is how to talk to both clients. Yeah. How do I talk to the small business owners while also talking to the entrepreneurs who actually need these more premium style services? So girl, that's been my year, but I feel like I'm now starting to find the balance. So I'm excited to now finally have that balance. I decided to very intentionally focus on the community online in my content for 2 months because the community was launching, it was starting, and now you'll start to see my content start to pivot to target those more, the people who need the social media management, the people who need the done for you content. Because 2 months ago, all of my content was about the community. So if I'm meeting people and I'm going to events and I'm networking, and they're like, let's stay connected. And then what they're seeing online is only a little part of what I offer. Yeah. So having to navigate both. So girl, it's been a journey. Yeah,
I think it's been a journey. So do you feel like it's like a mental thing?
Mm-hmm. So the previous brand, I was telling a friend recently that I made the pivot in my brand, but I didn't make the pivot in my content. So I had made the shift in my offering and in my products, but I didn't make the shift in my content. And that was mental.
Yeah. Do you feel like it was just hard for you to accept that you were doing more or something else, or what was it?
I don't think it was hard to accept. I think I was comfortable. I had been doing a certain style of content for so long that even though I had done all the work on the back end, I was still doing the same kind of content that had me where the content wasn't elevating with the offers. Is what it is. The content wasn't elevating with the offers. So now I am going into how can I create more elevated content that reflects all the work that I'm actually doing, not just this one piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think that I had a mental, I was going through something mentally when it came to rebranding. I'm like,
rebranding is stressful.
I literally feel like I'm starting over.
Yeah.
But it was like, the fact that I'm doing this stuff every day, but I'm not making no content saying this is what I'm doing. So if I'm not making content, get dressed to go do something, I'm not posting anything.
Yeah.
But I have content to post. I'm just not posting it. Yeah. It took me a while. I think I was in my head about, like, honestly, I just think that I'm just so sick of Instagram. Yeah. That it just makes me feel like people are watching and not supporting. So then it makes me not want to post on there. But I know that it's meant to do that. Like, it's meant to make me not want to post or just give up on myself or whatever. But it took me a while to, like, really click in my brain that, like, you're doing something else now. Like, post about it. Yeah. It took a while.
And sometimes, especially in that rebrand phase, you're so busy doing the work that you forget to show people the work that you're doing. Yeah. So that's something I used to always talk about when I was doing more like the coaching side. What I really say is, if nobody saw you do it, it didn't happen. That's really not true. That's actually not true. But my point was, you're doing all the things, or for like launches, you're planning all the launches, and then you're just posting them one day saying, this is coming in 2 weeks. And because you've had time to kind of develop the rebrand, you've had time to work on the back end, you know the ins and out, but you're not realizing nobody else knows what's going on because you didn't tell them anything. Yes. And that's the problem I have. Yeah. That's the problem I have. That's the problem I have, and that's the problem my clients used to always have. Yeah. Somebody got to see it being done.
Or how are they gonna know?
How do they know? That's how I feel about the social media management. Yeah. Because again, my content was still talking to only this audience, but I'm doing social media management. I'm doing done for you content, and I'm not telling anybody. How do they know I offer this now? They're still only seeing what they've always seen from me. They don't know all the other stuff that I have elevated to, and all the new services and all the different things. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yep. I definitely feel like I can relate to it, because even with the social media management clients, like, and potential clients, I'm meeting them in person. It's not because of Instagram. Yeah. But I know I need to be posting about this. What else am I going to post? Yeah. I'm just letting the platform just sit there. And I'm not just getting dressed up. I'm doing more stuff than that. What am I getting dressed up to go do? You like, what about posting that?
Felt you. Yeah. Felt you.
But, okay, this was great.
It was.
I definitely have to continue this conversation off camera.
Listen, I'm set for the ins and outs. Let's really get into it.
Yeah. You know what? I was gonna ask one more question, but I have two. So if there's someone who wants to get started in social media management, or just doing what we do basically, what would be the first thing that you would tell them to do before they get started?
Get good. And I don't mean be the best, but I think a lot of times when people start businesses, regardless of the industry, people get so focused on getting new clients that they forget to, once they get the clients, their offer needs to match. Their pricing and their offer needs to match what they said they can provide. Yeah. Focus on getting good at what you do. Ooh. My thing for at the top of 2024, my entire, it wasn't even a New Year's resolution. My entire mindset was, I want to be good at what I do. When you're good, the clients come. Yeah. When you're good, people see you. I just want to be good. So I would say focus on getting good. And when you're good, you have, even if you get one client, that one client can refer you to other people and other people and other people. You can have the results and all the statistics and all the things you help that one person do. And that's how you grow, as opposed to you're creating all this content, you're reaching all these new clients, and you bring them in and you're providing half-baked services, and you aren't ready for what you haven't done what you told them you can do. Now you've gotten 10 clients, 7 clients, all of them have bad reviews. Yeah. I would say focus on getting good. Yeah. Get that offer together.
Getting good, that's good. Mm-hmm. Okay, the last question question that I ask everyone after the podcast episodes are over is, if you could give one piece of advice, sometimes people give 3, but it's only supposed to be one. One little piece of advice to an entrepreneur that's trying to figure it out. What would you tell them?
Ooh, to an entrepreneur that's trying to figure it out. Have grace with yourself. It's not.
That was for me.
Have grace with yourself.
That was for me.
It's not overnight. It's not overnight. It doesn't have to be overnight. I think a lot of times we see, especially in the digital space, you see people who appear to be an overnight success online, and you feel like you're behind. Or you see people who are successful, and you feel like you're behind, and you feel like you're failing, when in reality, for one, reels. So I don't want to say social media isn't true. I hate when people say that, but you only see a part of the story. You don't see the back end. So a lot of times people compare to the highlight reel, and they don't see the back end, instead of focusing on their journey and giving themselves grace. Give yourself time to get good. Give yourself time to figure it out. Give yourself time to make the mistakes and learn, and don't be afraid to not be perfect. Yeah. You know, my Motivation Monday, I be on there stuttering. I be on there doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, it is what it is. My goal every day is not to show up and be perfect. I'm not picture perfect. I'm never sitting up straight, talking in complete proper sentences, so everybody knows that I have it. It's not that to me. My goal is to have a quality offer, give real value to my audience, and support the people who spend their money to work with me. Yeah. You don't have to be perfect to do that. People have to give themselves grace. Yeah. And people hold on to content. They're like, it's not perfect. I'm like, put that content out. Put that content out. Give yourself grace. That would be my biggest piece of advice.
I truly agree with that. I actually remember hearing you say something like that last night when I was watching one of your Motivation Mondays, and I feel like God dealt with me about this. Although I still sometimes feel like I struggle with it. Perfection, for sure. Yeah. Like, it's not gonna be perfect as soon as you start doing it, unless you just have all the money to just pay all these people to make sure everything is right. But like, people enjoy watching your journey. So the fact that you started with your phone, and then you end up being able to get that nice, good camera, like, people are watching it. People are still going to watch you when you're using that phone, but you can't be scared to start somewhere. So I 100% agree with that. Yes. Piece of advice. Yes, for sure. But that was still for me. Okay, so tell us how we can find you, because the girl is popping on Instagram. Okay, this is my other celebrity friend. Oh,
please, I'm trying. I'm just a girl.
Where do we find you? Where do we find your services? Where do we find your pages?
Yes, so I am on Instagram at Ebony K Creates. That is my brand page. You can join my content community. It's www.school.com/social society for social media management services and W content services. You can send me an email or DM at hello@ebonykagency.com.
All right, y'all. This was perfect. I'm so glad that you came.
I'm glad.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course. For real. I would not have missed it. We was working on the timings, but I knew we were going to get it together. I would not have missed it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, you guys. Well, I will see y'all on the next episode of Purify the Podcast. I hope that this has helped someone. If you want to get started with social media management, hit up Ebony. Okay. I'll see y'all next time.